who actually finished Paul Revere's ride? Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today's founder is a man named Samuel Prescott. Samuel Prescott was a resident of Concord, Massachusetts, and if that sounds familiar, it's because that's where the Battle of Lexington and Concord broke out, starting the Revolutionary War. Prescott had already at this point joined the Concord Sons of Liberty and actually may have participated in the Committee of Correspondence, although reports of that vary. Now, Samuel Prescott was studying to be a physician. It was the family trade, and he was learning just that. And he traveled to Lexington on the night of April 18th, 1775, for two reasons. First of all, his fiancée lived there, and he was going to see her and have a little meeting discussing the arrangements. And he was also going to meet with the Lexington Committee of Correspondence to discuss preparations that were being made in Concord. Now, Prescott had already assisted Concord in removing many of its cannon and weapons and gunpowder from the town and to hide it in case the British came looking. And that's when he decided to leave Lexington in the middle of the night to return home. And he just so happened to bump into two strangers in the night. And these two strangers in the night were William Dawes and Paul Revere. And William Dawes and Paul Revere were both going out to warn the countryside that the British were indeed coming, although they probably didn't say that, as they did consider themselves British at that point. However, they meet up with Prescott, and luckily they were friends and decided to take the ride together because they were all going to Concord anyway, and they were all patriots. On the ride, 4 British officers showed up and tried to arrest them. Now, while the 3 men tried to escape, Paul Revere was caught and arrested. Yes, often overlooked that on his ride, quote unquote, the Paul Revere ride, Paul Revere was the only rider who got arrested. And he was taken by the British. Now, William Dawes managed to escape, but he had to use some trickery and never actually made it to Concord. Luckily, those 2 men had met up with Samuel Prescott earlier in the night, because Prescott was able to evade his captors and was the only person to make it to Concord. When he made it to Concord, he alerted the town, had them ring the church bells, everyone got up, either evacuated the city or joined the militia, and after that, Prescott continued riding west, and he was warning the neighboring towns to get on alert and send militiamen to Concord. Furthermore, Prescott's brother Abel was woken from bed, and Abel Prescott rode south from Concord, warning people to come. And it was these 2 riders, although I should say there were many other riders along the way that Paul Revere and William Dawes had already alerted that were spreading the countryside, but these 2 riders got most of the local towns to send people to Concord, where the shot heard round the world took place. Now, as for Prescott's later life, it's kind of hard to track. It does seem like he joined the Continental Army as a surgeon and may have even gone to Canada and joined the invasion of Canada. He might have been arrested in a prison there. All his records become extremely murky from there on out, and we don't actually know where he was buried. So sadly, he disappears into the shadows of history, despite being an extraordinarily important catalyst for the shot heard around the world and the American Revolutionary War in general. So that's the story of Samuel Prescott. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go look up a little bit more about him when you have some time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like. That helps me out tremendously. And if you're new here, definitely subscribe. Put out videos about the American Revolution 5 days a week. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with a live video tomorrow.